And welcome back to another episode of the Parental Exchange podcast. I'm your host, Chico.
And I'm your host, Nicole. And this is where real parents exchange real experiences, no judgment, just growth and connections.
It's time to lock in, everybody.
Can you guys guess whose voice that is?
You guessed it.
Our
Little
son.
man. Yeah. He was mad excited to be a part of that little recording. We did like 7 takes, and he did great. Like, take one. I just wanted to keep getting him to say it over and over and over again.
No, you kept saying, say it again. And he would repeat. You say, repeat, say it again. And he would say it again. And I'm like, no, say what you just said.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a little struggle in the beginning.
Listen, I know that as a parent, you think that your child's the most beautiful thing in the world, regardless, but we have such a gorgeous little man, and I am so blessed. So blessed. Thank you, God.
Yes. Amen.
Woo.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Even though there's days that he tests your patience, but we don't gotta get into that.
Yeah.
We don't gotta get into that.
But thank you for the vibes, babe, because that had me with all of the feels. You had me feeling good. You had me feeling a little more in tune. Like, you had me digging deep. You had me emotional. I just felt so many different things in that moment. And I've heard Olivia Dean. You heard me say, is that Olivia Dean?
Yeah.
But it felt different when you played
No,
it.
I got put on recently to Olivia Dean, and I was like, where has this music been? This is fire.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a big hip hop head, but in this realm of R&B or soul type music, there's like certain sounds that like they pull me. And this right here, this project has been being played. That's why I've been talking to you about. I want to play something for you. I haven't heard you bump into Olivia Dean. So to me, I was about to put you on something new, which I think I did. I think I did in the perspective of you paying attention to the words. But I listened to it and I was like, why is this? This is Nicole right here. I was like, yo, I have to play this for her.
It sounded like something you would hear me listening to in my car.
Yeah. Facts.
I definitely have a good ear for music, like even down to different genres. I must say, some things I probably am a little more closed-minded to, but for the most part, I have a good ear for certain things. So
Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
And you
that,
can
babe.
sing. And you can sing. So
Yeah.
I want to highlight that I didn't get to highlight in the last episode, when we had a little J. Cole moment and you were singing the ad-libs. Honestly, to God, like, that was another thing that I was like, there's no way that I'm dating someone that has a fire voice as well. Like, when we first started dating, I remember you sung Alicia Keys, and that's my favorite R&B artist. Like, she was my crush for years, and I was like, oh nah, she's singing Alicia Keys to me.
Yeah,
You remember?
I do.
We went to
Atlantic City.
Yes, and we were
And
at
there's
a
a karaoke.
Yep, and you love karaoke.
I
You
always get
freak-
up there
you
most
always-
parts. Most times.
Always want to sing.
I'll sing right now. I'll sing that part to you. Valentine's Day edition.
Go ahead. Let's get it.
Some people live for the fortune. Some people live just for the fame.
Okay.
Some people live for the power, yeah. Some people live just to play the game. Some people think that the physical things define what's within. And I've been here before. And that life's a bore, so full of the superficial. But some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby.
Yeah, when you did that in that karaoke night, I was like,
But everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Yeah.
Yo, and we like that cheesy shit, like dedicating songs to each other, singing to each other, surprising each other. Like we did that all through our dating phase, like finding different ways to do meaningful things.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So for Valentine's Day, let's see what we can come back and update our audience. What went down? What was the vibes for the parents' night on Valentine's Day?
Yes, as we prioritize the 5 F's from our last episode, one of them being prioritizing a date night. Our last one was couples bowling, and
Yeah.
now we are going to be, of course, taking that week to celebrate you, my love, because your birthday's coming up.
Oh, word.
And his birthday's February 12th, Aquarius season, and then Valentine's Day 2 days later. So he gets a gift, and then I get a
Then
gift.
of course.
Yay!
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of activities going on during
Yeah.
that week.
Yep.
And J. Cole's dropping his project the week before. That's like my early
That's your
gift.
Valentine's Day gift right
No,
there
no,
from
no.
him.
Oh, yeah, what? Pause.
What's wrong with that?
Yo, he's okay, that's his Valentine's gift to you, to everybody, to all Cole fans.
Yeah.
We eating off of this whole album drop.
100%.
I got the vinyl coming in around that. That's like my early birthday gift. Yeah, nah, it's gonna be fire. So, something that stood out to me last conversation we had, we went real deep into our 5 F's, and one thing that we did in the beginning of that episode was say who we were, right? And we listened back to it and we realized, like, even during the episode, we realized that we were saying everything that we do. And it got me to thinking, like, watching this clip, everything came down to who are you? Right? And we asked ourselves this question for a couple of days now, discussing this topic, because it's been like a struggle to like pull that out. Like, who are you? Outside of all the roles that you play, who are you? And why is that important to know? And I feel like I didn't know that answer until I started like stripping away these things, right? And I was looking for what shows up constantly in my life. Like, what's something that's always been in all the seasons that, I've been through in life, from younger days to now, where I stand today. And I think that I remember giving you some of the answers, and all I kept saying was, I'm a dad, I'm a brother, I'm an employee, I'm a fiance. Like, I'm giving you all the roles again, and I'm going in circles with this, and until I realized that one thing that's been consistent in my life, and everything, that even if you take everything away and you leave me stripped from everything, and there's one thing that always gonna be present in my life, is creating. Like, I need to create something. That's my form of expression. That is what like fills me. So as I realized that, as I've been chasing certain things to be a good dad, I want to be a great partner, I want to be a great brother, friend, an employee. Like, those are all things that I'm showing up for other people. Those are all roles that bring value to my life, but to other people's life, But what's something that is exclusive to me?
When everything else is gone, when there's nothing else in front of you,
Yeah.
who is Chico?
One, being a creator, because it's a form of expression for me. It's a way for me to be able to like bring something to life. And I realized that whenever I'm in that zone, I'm thriving. I feel like I gotta groove, like I gotta stay in this state.
I don't know if my answer's right. I think, like, I am very much a server, a people person. Like, I'm not saying that that's my role, but it is in certain realms, like, because of what I do for a living. But my nature and who my identity is to serve, is to be that empathetic person. I've noticed that about myself. I'm like, if I don't know anything, I know that I'm very much that empathetic person, that person that wants to provide a safe space for others. And, you know, I do get a little attitude, though. I do got a Puerto Rican attitude, so sometimes that's a little... But my identity has a lot to do with my nurturing personality. Not as a mom, just who I've always been.
Like you care for people.
Core,
like
to
you
my
care
core.
like you care for people. You like making for people feel good. You want people to feel seen.
Yeah,
heard.
I will compliment a stranger. I will talk to that person on the airplane because it fills me up, and it's not something that I'm not creating it. So at some point, baby, I want to point out that I almost saw that as less valuable because I wasn't actually creating something.
That's so weird because for me, I always looked at that as like your strength and my weakness. Like I get anxious going with her in elevators because I feel like she's just gonna spark up a conversation with whoever's in the elevator, and I don't want that. Like there's times that I just be like, I'll act like I'm not paying attention because like,
or he'll use a cell phone that doesn't work because the service is always out in the elevator, so that sucks.
Because it's like I'm not trying to do that, right? I feel like I'm awkward when it comes to like new people, and you do very well in that. But then you want to include me in that conversation. I'm just like,
Yep.
I start twitching like, no, like, what are you doing? Stay over there with that conversation.
So it's interesting that you say that because
I feel like that's a strength for you.
I appreciate that. I always thought that because I wasn't producing something that it wasn't significant.
I think that's super.
A power that not everybody has, a genuine one. Some people just fake it.
Yes,
because
and
they
that's
need to.
why.
And for me, it's something that I can't not do. Like in moments where, you know, I'm gonna kind of bring it out there. In moments where you've had your jealous moments, it was like, I remember saying to you, if you don't like this part of me and how I am towards people, then this might not work. Because I can't change that about myself. And that's how I know it's a core part of me.
I remember that when you told me that, that's when I started looking at that as a strength of yours, right? Because you flip it, right? For me, where I come from, it's like it was normal for you to be more stank towards people because it was like, I'm trying to make, like, you're trying to make it known that, nah, like, you're not interested, right? But being genuine, when you're genuine with just caring about people, there's no agenda behind it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so there's no agenda behind it. And that's hard to come by because everything has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda in my eyes, right? I always look at, yeah, you might say you care about this, but there's something else in there. Like, there's always something in exchange. So that's my toxic shit.
100%. Yes.
That's just like, I look at lenses. My lenses are always kind of like trying to see through things, you know, like trying to see through people.
It's right in front of him, y'all. It's right in front of him.
Right, and
at least with me. So I'll be like, "What are you looking for? What are you?"
Yeah, like,
what are you looking through?
But those are areas that you notice about yourself or things that you notice about yourself. And then when you told me that, I was like, and now I make fun of those things where I'm just like, yo, I know she's about to go talk to these people. And I'm just like.
He was the guy that when we were in our apartment, you would look through the peephole, and if no one was going by the elevator, you out. If someone was there, you'd wait. You'd do something. Remember something else you forgot in the house. So you would not have to go out there and enter the elevator with the next person.
And those things interchange each other, right? Like, I'm constantly trying to create something. I would help you create something. I will encourage you with ideas, and I'll sit down with you and let's write this down, and areas where you're kind of like, I can't really think of much, and then it gets your motors going, and now you're like, oh, I got something, right? And then on the other side of things, like, it makes me be a little bit more outside of my shell. Sometimes we hide our identity in our roles because we think they're less valuable. And that's an example of that. Like you feeling like that you bring to the table is not valuable when that is needed in this world. Like that is needed. Right. And I think that that's why you have such great community around the fitness world and growing. And I think that that's going to be your superpower in that realm because it's going to be genuinely it's genuine with what you're providing for the people that are coming into your circle.
Yeah, like I care. So I love that we ended up talking about this because it made me do one thing, and it's seek a little bit more because I was very much touched up upon my role. And I've felt very lost as a parent and just overall with all of my responsibilities to feel less significant in those self-seeking moments. Like, and you don't put too much thought into it. And then when you have to, you almost feel lost.
Yeah.
And you really have to dig deep. And this is like my soul searching year. And it's interesting how I'm embracing the things that I once thought were insignificant, you know, like when you would say, babe, you got to start thinking more, you got to start seeking more. And I'm like, I took it as an insult, but also a wake up call because it's true. There's so much out there, and I'm very much into the way my feeling and what's going on around me, but very closely. I don't search or seek out for it. So this is a big like self-seeking year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm glad that you feel that way because I know that before you used to think that I was
That
trying to
shit
like,
hurt.
yeah, like I was trying to like nitpick at you, and it was more like you used to be like, I just want to be present, and I was like, I understand that, like you don't, I get it because I'm constantly living in the future, right? I'm constantly like moving ahead, and you're more of like, hey, let's be present, let's embrace everything here,
every moment of this day because it's not, next thing you know, we're going to be looking like we're always going to be rat racing to the next thing. We're currently here. And then by the time you're there, I'm like, damn, how much time flew? Like I never enjoyed what was right there. Like we got to find the balance of seeking further and thinking into the future and what we want. And also realizing that this is right now is only right now. Like 30 minutes ago that was it. That was 30 minutes ago. And that's not coming back. So it's a good balance of the two, but with good consciousness of what to shoot for to enjoy the now and the future.
we are able to help each other catapult one another, but also like, hey, let's stop and smell the roses. We're constantly in our roles, constantly in a routine, constantly looking forward, worrying about this and worrying about that, and not too much on let's embrace, right? So now that, you know, within the conversation that we were having before about identity, right? Like listening to that clip and stripping all those things away, I also realized that I often have like this dad guilt, and I've had this conversation before. I've had it on the podcast with Jose before, where I was expressing like the tug of war you play every day with where you allocate your time and chasing things that you want in life, but feeling like you're essentially getting like a bad grade in one of your roles, like parenting or being a good partner or being a good son or a good employee, right? Because you're dividing your focus into many different things. And when those things really matter to you, it's a struggle for you to be able to say, they'll be all right. Like, there's times where I'm in the studio and I want to do something, right? And Zaya will come over here and be like, let's play. And I'll be like, I'll do this later, right? I'm going to go play. And there's times where I'll be like, nah, bro, like, I got to lock in. And it's like this pain I get in my heart, right?
Yes. Or even when you're on your phone because you're doing certain things, like, or you're having a moment to just unwind and have your own little screen time, and he wants to play around you, and
you feel like you're letting him down, right?
Yes.
You think you look bad in front of other people because then he'll go seek that attention from somebody else, and then they'll ask him, where's your parents? And then downstairs they're doing something, and now you feel like, I gotta go up there and show him that I'm like, here, what's up, let's do something. Like, and especially like we have a blessing, right, that we can we can kind of like have him go and hang out with his titis or his grandparents. Not everybody has that. And I understand that. So it's even more difficult for someone that's like, I literally have to leave them somewhere, or if it was someone or doing something in another room for me to be able to isolate and do this, right?
Yeah.
And it just like this guilt is a constant thing, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one that feels it.
At all.
Like,
At
do
all.
you constantly deal with that?
Mom guilt. It is when you want to be present, but you also want to make the most of yourself to set an example for your kid.
How do we do that?
Oh my God. Just like Zaya says, it's hard. But I think as a parent, if you can find the right focus, say, okay, I'm going to make sure I lock in on this, and this with it. If I'm going to be away from my kid, I'm going to make it worth it. Because then it's going to come back tenfold for them. So if you think about it that way and you say, I'm not going to go playing, like, I stop for a second as a parent. Is this worth it, what I'm doing right now? Yes, because I need to unwind. So I'm going to keep doing it. Or yes, because it is the work I need to get done because I want it to be in a different place 6 months to a year from now. Or if it's like, you know what? I didn't spend that much time with him and I could put this off a little bit later. Let me put that down and go hang out with him. So this is what weighs in my head when I think about how to spend my time. How am I going? Is it going to be good for me and my mental health? I'm going to do it because I need it right now. Or this could wait because I haven't had any time with him and this is my balance. So I weigh a lot of those things out in my head all the time. And I think I've found a good flow, but you never get over that guilt no matter what. As a parent, you never get over that mom guilt.
That sounds draining, right? It like the constant having to outweigh your priorities, like outweigh them, like, is this more, like, when you think about that, like, that's what I felt in the beginning when we first had Zaya. And I remember that it was a peak moment for me because it was like I felt like God was literally going, you said you wanted this, but here, And I remember that space and time, I was like, I'm going to put off podcasting for a while. I'm going to reconvene. I'm going to come back and see where I land in this. Because I had like dismantled my entire operation, right? We weren't in the studio anymore. We had a studio rented out. I moved in with you. We're about to have a baby. I'm trying to figure out careers, what the hell I'm going to do with my life.
Yes.
And then I'm like, I need to put podcasting away because right now that's not going to make me any money. And I was like locked in, right? And then I got an opportunity to help somebody start their podcast. And it dawned on me, like, what if I started a business? And if somebody pays me to help them start their podcast, I would be in creator mode consistently, and I'll be able to monetize that skill. And it was the hardest time for me because I felt so guilty leaving you alone. But I knew that, if I really lock in on this is an opportunity to showcase what we can do. But I always felt like I was failing in one area. Because if I made sure to show up for you and I forgot to do something with the podcast that made it like not launch correctly or whatever the case is, then now I'm looking unprofessional. And I felt like I was being so hard on myself and I was like feeling guilty on both ends to the point where I felt like, I want to give up on this. Like I've never really felt like I wanted to leave something like in media alone like I did around that time. And I felt like I was in a really like bad place. Like I was just like in a like I was literally jumping back and forth in my mind every single day. And I was telling everybody, I'm fine, I got this. And in my head, I'm like destroyed.
Let me ask you something. Did I ever, and I want you to be very honest, did I ever make you feel like it was that much harder? Did I make it feel harder for you?
Yes, but not intentionally. Because I also take accountability that prior to that I had come off of network marketing, and I wasn't doing what I said I was gonna do. So I felt like I lost credibility with you. And jumping into something new, I felt like you were looking at it like, there he goes with one of his ideas, and he's not trying to be like consistent or trying to make something like like security, like secured. You were big on security, so I was like, everything that I was doing was straight up risk. Take the risk. So I felt like I needed to earn that credibility back from you without asking you to just give it to me. I had to earn it. And it was hard for me to tell you that, because if I told you that, then you were just gonna be like, babe, you can do it. And I wanted you to kind of like believe in me that I could do it.
Without you telling me that.
Exactly. And I felt like you couldn't, because one, we got a new place. I was already struggling with the career I was in. I was in sales, and I was trying to figure it out, and that was a real, like, it was a whole different animal. On top of creating a business, and in that time there wasn't a real model in podcasting. There wasn't this clear cut, like, podcasting was not a popular thing.
Yeah.
I need you guys to understand, it was not
Yeah.
a saturated place, or felt saturated. It felt like nobody knew what this was, and everybody was trying to figure it out. There was a couple of people that were making money with this, and then there were people that were growing in this space, but it wasn't a proven concept. So for me to come to you and tell you, look, I got this plan, and I'm going to go mobile, and I'm going to be a mobile podcast creator, and I'm going to go to different locations and record podcasts for people, and they're going to pay me for this. It was hard for you. I knew it was going to be hard for you to, like, see the value in that, because you could have been like, well, why don't you just get a job that pays you? You got a CDL, you got this license. Like, I know that for you, you just wanted to make sure that our family was all right. So,
And that was
yeah.
also the part of me, babe. That was also the part of me that didn't realize that I was thinking too close-minded. I was thinking too close-minded. I wish I would have been more. I wish I would have believed more and had more faith. And I'm sorry about that,
No, it's I'm
because who knows what could have been in that time frame had we not thought about, the risks as much, and thought more about the rewards, and like hustled and kind of came up with a game plan. And I think we've evolved so much as parents and as people since then, that now that if we decide to think outside the box and take those risks, I'm willing to make more of a plan and decide who's gonna hold what end of the fort to help the other one, like, succeed.
And I feel like you, even if you had fear, doubt, or maybe didn't understand what the hell I was talking about, it wasn't like you never said, no, you can't do that, right? You never just said, don't do that. It was more of kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I hope you figure this out. Like, it was kind of like, I hope you got this, right?
But let me bring something back to this, babe. To our biggest topic of identity is that I also feel like I had a lot of doubt in myself, and that portrayed onto you. Like, that's what's making me have, like, that more of that seeking mindset in this day and age, because back then I didn't trust myself. So how was I going to trust you? I didn't trust that I would succeed in certain things. I mean, I was doing well for myself, of course, but what I mean is, like, had I decided to take risks like that, I never believed in myself. So it was hard for me to believe in you. And then seeing those times where you didn't quite make it, of course, that made it even more doubtful for me. So I think that's where my feelings came in, that I had such a closed mind, and I wish that I didn't. But coming into seeing all that, I realize it very much differently now.
We filled each other's glasses, because think about it. I was very impulsive in taking and making decisions and taking risks. Like, I'm very trigger happy on, I'll blow this whole shit up and start over, right? Like, I'm not scared of starting from the ground up. I'm not scared of starting from zero. At some point, right, you got to have something to land on.
Yeah.
And you taught me that, because you would constantly remind me of areas where I needed to, just have a plan, have something in place, so it doesn't disrupt your whole life. And I feel like,
because I met you in a risky place, and I thought that that was like where you were going to stay at the time.
Well, when you say risky, it was entrepreneurship, and
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out a business. And at the time, I was going based off of network marketing, but I also wanted to start my own business in media. So it was kind of like a constant risk taking and leave it up to God type
And
thing.
yeah, you didn't have anything steady at the
Mhm.
time besides network marketing because you were doing well in network marketing. So yeah, I met you in that space, and it, but I never was that risk taker. So I didn't believe in that for
Yeah.
myself, and I damn sure wasn't gonna believe. You know what I mean? Like
that was-
that's where it came from.
And that's the good thing now, that I feel like now you're in the space where you're kind of you're kicking off entrepreneurship in your life, right? You're taking on this different role, and I'm kind of like your anchor in that space sometimes, because I feel like there's days where you're like, I don't know if this is gonna, like, you're like all over the place, and I'm like, oh, let's get back to it. Like, you got
Yep.
this, and I start reminding you of all the things that you already know how to do, and that you got this. Right? And I feel like it only comes from a place because I've been there where I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I felt like I jumped out of a plane, and I'm gonna land on the ground somehow. This parachute's gonna open, but I don't even have a parachute. I'm gonna build one while I fall off the fucking airplane. That's literally
Yo, that is
how
perfect.
it feels.
That is perfect.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and-
build it while I'm going down.
Yeah,
Like,
we're gonna figure this shit
yo.
out, and that's really
Oh.
what it is, right? That's really what it is.
If you've ever been there, just know that you are not alone, and that is where we are at, y'all.
Yeah, into that guilt, when we circle back into that, I needed to give myself permission to go after the things I know God is pulling me towards. And if you are struggling with mom or dad guilt, you need to give yourself permission. You need to give yourself permission to go out and do those things that you have in your heart, because when you think about the people that don't understand what you got going on, it's not for them to understand, it's for them to watch. You can't explain to people what your purpose is. You got to go out and do it. And that's the hardest part, because you feel like you have to kind of explain yourself to people all the time. Like, oh, why don't you have a house yet? Well, right now I'm in the building stage. And no. We figuring shit out. We got a plan together, and we working towards that plan, but we're working through it how we can do it best right now for us.
In our timeline,
Yeah.
there's no one set timeline. Some people are gonna get it done in this amount of time. Some people in this. Some people in this.
Yeah.
And it's really just what you take from it and how you get through it in the journey. That's it. But that's deep, baby, that you say that right there. You got to give yourself permission. You got to, for me, it's going to be, that we have, I was just looking it up before, how many thoughts on average do we have per day? And it's about 6,000 thoughts plus per day. And so, you know how you said it, I feel like it's exhausting to weigh out your priorities. Well, you're going to have many, many decisions to make all throughout your day regardless. So just kind of work through that. Work through that the best way you can. Is it worth it for you? That's what we think about. Is it going to be worth it for us? Do we need that time to unwind? Yes, take it. Mental health, deload, unwind. Are we ready to say, you know what? It's parent time. Everything else can wait. Yeah. Or is it's time to lock in? Because
It's time to lock in, everybody.
Because this is going to be better for me and my family in the long run. Yeah. So map it out. And then to the identity, seeking who you are, not just by your roles and the things that are most important to you, the things that you do in your everyday life, but who you are as a person. What is it that fills you up, that makes you that much more purposeful in those roles?
That's it. Like, and to your point with that, like, if you don't know what that is, it's okay. We're not here saying we have it all figured out. There's still areas in our life that we're still seeking what those things are. Into our identity and into our purpose and what we want to set out to be and what we want to be known by and what we want our kid to see us as. But start asking yourself that question. Start seeking what's consistent in your life. What's something that always shows up for you when all roles are taken away, when all titles are stripped. Who are you?
What are some core values, and what are some beliefs that you will stand on no matter what? I think you can start there. That's how I started. And I thought about things that never leave and fulfill me without any type of outside stimulus, without any type of outside telling me what to do, or how do you say, manipulating that for me.
If you haven't done this yet, I need you to share the podcast with someone you love. Second, I need you to subscribe. Turn the notifications on. Leave a comment. Tell us what sat with you. What would you want to share? Give us exchange something with us. Give us a story where you felt like you were losing who you are to your roles.
I agree. And it's going to help us just build that community, because again, that's something that, like, for me, one of my values is building relationships deeper than just surface level. And that does come with learning from you guys and having that exchange of thoughts on what you might have felt lost in. Have you found your purpose, or have you found a little bit more of your identity so far in this first month of the new year? And what roles really hold true? Maybe they intertwine some way, somehow, but they still fulfill you in the end. What does that look like? Tell us. We want to know.
And thank you, everyone that's been reaching out, giving us feedback. Continue to give us feedback. That is also making our day, because we know that is resonating with our audience and people are rocking with us. And give us maybe some things you want to hear more on the podcast. Looking forward to discussing for parents, for parents to be. Give us a shout out and we will repost you on our stories.
Yes. Shout us out on the gram. If something resonated with you, not only DMing us about it and giving us your feedback, which means so much, but also sharing it to someone that you love. Maybe there's a certain point in the podcast or in the YouTube channel that you want to send and say, yo, look at this, screenshot it, record it, what's going to hit and what truly hits home for you, and maybe someone that you know that is going to benefit them as well.
Let's get it. Thank you for tuning in to the Parental Exchange Podcast. See you next time.